Right, this next stage of curing the slice. Now, first of all, remember, it's not really a fault fix as such. This is getting to the real fundamentals of the swing. As I said, little quick tips, and so to me just don't work long term. But what we really want to do, all you slicers out there, it's really getting rid of it forever. And listen, we're all going to slice occasionally, but as a consistent shot, I believe it can be gone. And I'm going to start to take you through that. And really, like I said before, what it all comes down to is not releasing the club head, using the wrong muscles to try and force through the ball where the club head is still for too long in front of your shoulders, in front of the chest, rather than going past, behind, and past. So now what we're going to do is do the complete opposite of slicing, starting to hook. And how do you do that? Now, what we want to be able to do as a training process is get into impact with the club face shut to start hooking, as opposed to leaving it open. So if I take it back now, and this is, I'd like you to start grabbing a club, and without a ball there, just starting to get the feeling from here, let the club, I'm using my right hand almost just to push the club past. Now, I know it looks a bit odd. If I hit the ball doing this, I mean, you can see how shut the club face is. I mean, it's going to be a violent hook, which is what we want in the short term. When you can actually hook it, and you get comfortable with that kind of feeling, and I've done it with so many slicers. I mean, I'm talking about real slicers, and very quickly, within 10 minutes, we can get them actually hooking. And what you're doing with the right kind of practice and just continuing, gradually you'll find the bit in the middle. It works that way. Trying to go from being a slicer, just hitting it straight all the time, it doesn't really work. It's so easy to regress. So taking it back and just starting to get the feeling of, with your hands, just get that. So what's actually happening now, you can see the club is actually passing by the body. I'm leaving my shoulders behind. And once you get better at this is a really practical shot for myself, a driver, out in the course, trouble down the right. If you have the confidence to sort of aim down the right, and don't let yourself come right the way through, if you kind of release it with a club head zipping past you, the ball will start down right and draw back nicely. Takes a wee bit of confidence, but it's an easy shot to play. But it all comes back to this training the energy down through the hands and wrists. So first stage really is getting that feeling of just releasing past you. And you'll feel the upper arm really tucking in here. So before we go any further, let's just get you actually doing this. Get that feeling of just, don't be scared of it, just letting the club come down. My left wrist here is completely, and forearm is completely rotating. And this is the position we want to be in when we're doing a proper swing like so. So taking it back, stopping, and then just start to get that feeling of getting that club head down past you. Right now, the next kind of stage in our quest to get rid of the dreaded slice, we started off, just talking about generally what causes it, tension, not releasing the club head. Then we've started to get this feeling that from the downswing, the club is starting to catch up sooner. And again, don't misunderstand or mistake this for actually casting. And you'll see how it all works in when we get the whole picture together. So we started off getting the feel of just that early release. Now, from there, I mean, what I've been doing here is actually leaving the body behind, not moving at all. If I then start to just let the body start to move a bit now, but still getting that feeling that, and you can actually slow it down and stop, and you'll see it impact. My club head is still very shut. I'd still be hooking. And I would like slicers to actually, work on this for a fair degree of time to really, really get it out of the system once and for all and reintroduce real correct fundamentals. And what actually happens, as we get more and more familiar with this feeling, and as I start to feed the body in, gradually the hook becomes less and less, because what's actually happening, really the first stage from here I mean, if you hit the ball from there, you really get a hugely violent hook. And as I start to let the body move, because the body's actually getting ahead of the club actually starts to square. You know, so I've fully released here, totally closed. Now as I start to pull my hips through, the arms are getting pulled through, and you can see the club is starting to square. So don't think, as somebody said to me, this guy had the biggest slice you've ever seen, and we started getting him to hook it nicely. And he said, don't fancy this too much, I might end up being a hooker. I mean, this was never going to happen. So don't be scared of this. Really getting this feeling of starting to let the body move a little bit. But at the same time, still, the main focus is this early release of the hands. Getting as a right-hander, my right hand to whip the club down, so that my left forearm and hand is letting that clubsy zip through there. Now we're into a kind of we'll call it like a wee half kind of position. I still feel quite anchored. The proper half swing position, my weight would be 70-80% on my left side. I'm still about 50-50. So this is me still in a hooking position here. So just as I said, once we go from this one, start to just let the body move a little bit, but still focusing totally on this release.